How's it going, everyone? Happy Friday. The weekend's here. But before we go into the weekend, we had a bunch of NBA news that happened yesterday. So let's just start it off right away. Russell Westbrook is coming back home. I'll start this off because I'm a Laker fan and just my first thoughts on this trade. So right away, I think it's a win for the Lakers right away off the bat. You're getting a future Hall of Famer. You're getting a one-of-kind player that we'll probably never ever see. Triple-double machine, a spark plug, energy. He's going to give you maximum effort 24/7 anytime he's on the court. The only problem that with Westbrook is IQ-wise, where he doesn't know whether to make the right play or to force a play. So, but that can be fixed when you have the right vets or right player personnel around you. And I think with LeBron James right there, this is the perfect time for both of them to be together, because LeBron's already up in age where he can't be taking over a whole team for an entire season, and Westbrook's at the age where he still has the ability to do that, and where his main focus is about winning a championship. So I think both of them going hand in hand will honestly benefit the Lakers in the end with a championship. That's my thoughts. But let me give you guys' thoughts as well.
I also think it's a win for the Lakers, and I mean Westbrook his stock has probably gone down a bit in the past couple of years, but maybe went up last year. He played well last year, but the thing that was the issue with the Lakers this year, when LeBron and AD aren't playing well, or they're not creating, the Lakers just are a terrible team. Like, they just have nothing else. And now with Westbrook, you have someone, anytime he's on the floor, he's going to be doing something positive on offense. Maybe not positive, but he's going to be shooting, driving, passing, doing something good. So, it makes perfect sense. But the Lakers aren't done trading or signing people because they have no shooters, and they traded away KCP. And with Westbrook and LeBron, who are both sketchy shooters, they definitely need some 3-point presence.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot that comes with the Westbrook trade, but when you look at it holistically, like, you're adding an MVP, a former MVP, to a team that's already won a title. Obviously, some different personnel on the bench, and you have to consider things like that, but you can't be mad about the addition. I know people are talking about how the shooting on this team is going to be terrible, how they're not going to be able to shoot threes, all this stuff. I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal as people are making it out to be. Anytime you can add a player to a caliber with that kind of caliber and talent to a team that's already this good, it's only going to make you better. 5 years ago, people said with the Warriors, like, there's not going to be enough space to shoot the ball, and they made it work. I think it's going to be the same thing here. People can say what they want, but this is going to be a really good team, and I don't know if any one of us called it last time on the podcast on our last episode. If any of us called Westbrook, but did you call him Jesse? Because I know I said Lonzo.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think anyone. I think because I said Malcolm Brogdon, and then I was like but I could see Westbrook there, but I didn't really think it was going to happen this fast.
Yeah, well, this was definitely surprising. I don't think we expected it so soon, but if you're a Lakers fan, you got to be happy. So, Jesse, kudos to you and your team, man.
Yeah, man. Another point I want to bring up why this is honestly a perfect matchup. When LeBron has been with the Lakers, or any LeBron James team, what's been the one problem that every team has had? The one common issue. Anytime he leaves the floor, the production goes down. Now that you have a significant ball handler, especially a triple-double machine like Westbrook, you have someone you can trust out there when LeBron needs to get his rest or when AD needs to get his rest. Because Westbrook, he's like a Swiss Army knife. He can play, he can score at will, and he can pass the ball. Gets offensive rebounds, putbacks. He just knows how to play basketball at the highest level. And with his, but like I said, his only problem that I see being with this team is playing in that one gear, playing that fast pace at all times. Because there's certain times in the game where you have to slow it down. You have to like make reads and make the right play instead of forcing something. But like I said, I think being under LeBron James, that's gonna help because LeBron James is gonna teach him some stuff. Westbrook, it looks like a person who loves to learn. Although we've seen Westbrook in the past be the type of person who's like, who cares what you say? I'm gonna do it my way. I think now he's at a stage of his career where he's gonna put all that to the side because he has all the accolades already. He's just missing that one thing, the championship. So I think it's perfect. I think another reason why he's gonna be a great addition is the relationship that's gonna be built between Westbrook and Phil Handy. I think Phil Handy's gonna get because Phil Handy has worked with the likes of we already know LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kobe Bryant, Kawhi Leonard, and now you're adding Westbrook to that. He's gonna be able to break down like a film session with them, show him like what he needs to improve on, how to improve on it, handles wise, shooting wise, reads wise. I just think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see we're not gonna see the same old Westbrook we've been seeing. I think we're gonna see a more focused Westbrook, a more tamed Westbrook, a winning Westbrook. Because we haven't seen that Westbrook since the Oklahoma City days. So I think now that you have LeBron James, it's just a match made in heaven. And also you got to put in the pick and roll between him and Anthony Davis. We saw what that looked like between Westbrook and Steven Adams. Now give an offensive threat like Anthony Davis, dude, it's gonna be perfect. That's how I see it. That's how I'm looking at it.
Someone's excited about it.
I need to get my Westbrook jersey already. Like, when are they gonna put the production line out there? I need to know already.
Is he going back to 0 or is he gonna be 4 again?
I don't know. I'd be down for him to be 0. I mean, I'm happy. I hate to say it, but I'm glad Kuzma's gone.
I think most Laker fans are glad Kuzma's gone.
Yeah, the inconsistency was just too much to bear. Because one night you have him where he goes for 20 points, and then you have another night where he goes for like 9 points. And just he was never able to take that next step. But before I tarnish him or say any bad things about him, I gotta say thank you, Kuzma, for your time with the Lakers. You got us a summer league championship, and first couple of years you balled out, and I wish you well. Them Hollywood lights blinded you a little bit, I want to say, but have fun in Washington. You guys have any last words on the Westbrook situation?
No, I think you nailed it.
It'll be fun to see, definitely.
So we're gonna stick on the Lakers topic. One more topic of Buddy Hield being called off, but could he still find a way to the Lakers? Have you guys heard about this?
I have.
Yeah.
About a possible sign-in trade with Dennis Schroeder, and that could be involved with this trade, where Montrezl Harrell and Kyle Kuzma will be sent to Sacramento. Buddy Hield will come to the Lakers. Or I forgot. I honestly don't remember. I remember something like that.
So it would be part of the Westbrook trade then?
I believe so.
Oh, that would make sense. Because if it's not, I don't think there's any way. Just because the Lakers don't have anything else to trade, really. Because they're not going to – I mean, I guess it would be Dennis Schroeder that they trade, but that's like all they have. Because they're not going to trade Tucker, right?
No.
Tucker, yeah.
Well, if they do get Hield, that solves the shooting problem because we know he can shoot. He's a plus 40, 42 guy. And we know how well LeBron and Westbrook can pass the ball and get it to those corner guys. So it wouldn't just be good. It would be a great fit for the Lakers. He would have a fantastic year with the Lakers. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know if most of the times when things like this happen, when a trade gets called off, it's unlikely that the player will still end up there. That's just the nature of the NBA and how trades usually work. But, I mean, let GM – he's never been one to disappoint. So I wouldn't be surprised if Buddy Hield still ended back up in LA. But as of right now, I think it's a little hard to see. But who knows? That would be a great fit, though.
If the Lakers get Buddy Hield, if we get Buddy buckets, just give us the ship already. That's what I would say. So we have a great shooter. I'm labeling him great. He's a great shooter in this league right now. Right now, he's a great shooter.
Yeah,
I think underrated because he's in Sacramento. He's not able to showcase his talents on the world stage, on the big stage, whereas as he would with the Lakers. And also, I gotta take into account that he's a Kobe Bryant fan. So, and he wanted to come to the Lakers originally when he was in the NBA draft, when the Lakers had the number 2 pick, and I think that's when we got Brandon Ingram. So there was there's already a connection there where the Lakers were thinking about drafting Buddy Hield back then in the 2017 draft or 2016 draft. So if the Lakers are able to get Buddy Hield alongside Russell Westbrook, and then you got LeBron James and Anthony Davis, I think that's a core that could top Brooklyn. But who knows? Let GM and Pelinka got to do their thing. Hopefully it does. Hopefully the league doesn't do anything to screw us over again like they did with the Chris Paul trade.
I think there's a difference between Chris Paul and Buddy Hield if they're just going off of that.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what?
Too much firepower.
Buddy Hield did win the 3-point contest.
If they didn't veto the Westbrook trade, I think you're going to be okay with the Hield. I think you're good off for this one.
Well, you know what's crazy about this whole situation, this whole scenario with the whole Westbrook thing, and I was thinking about it yesterday when it was going down. Just think of the storyline the NBA could possibly have in the NBA Finals, heading into the NBA season and then leading up to the Finals. Yeah, Brooklyn. We already knew Brooklyn. They wanted Brooklyn and LA last year because of the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving situation versus LeBron James. But now you have Russell Westbrook to the situation where you have Russell Westbrook versus Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving versus LeBron James.
That's true. And you got James Harden too with.
Yep. KD left Westbrook because he couldn't win with them. LeBron James said, "Bring them in, we'll win with them." That's just another. That'll be another scenario where we'll say, "Oh, LeBron James top Kevin Durant if he's able to win a championship with them." And just think, I saw a tweet yesterday that had to do with this whole situation. This would be like it would be a final part of a 30 for 30. They call it the thunder that never struck.
Okay, you're getting a little ahead of yourself now. You're just picking the finals next year.
Heck yeah, you got to think of these scenarios storyline. You're not telling me if that
makes sense.
Game 7, if that series goes to Game 7, that wouldn't be the greatest Game 7 of all time.
Ooh.
In theory, it probably would.
Ooh, that would be crazy. I like that, Jesse.
The NBA right now, I know the NBA and Adam Silver right now are just they're having a field day. They're loving this. New York versus LA, just everything that goes into it. But like you said, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just wait till the season goes, and we'll take it day by day. But I'm happy about it. So now let's go. Some Ben Simmons drama. Not drama, but more. Let's talk about Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia 76ers. So the Sixers were rejected twice after 2 ridiculous asking price. So the first one, they were rejected by the Warriors before yesterday's draft because they asked for Andrew Wiggins, James Wiseman, the number 7 pick, the number 14 pick, and 2 future first-round swaps. What are you guys' thoughts?
Ridiculous. I mean, Do they think the Warriors didn't watch Ben Simmons last year? Like, I mean, that's a bold asking price for someone who was scared to shoot in the playoffs.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that Wiseman's still young. We don't know how his season would have turned out if he didn't get injured. And Wiggins just honestly had the best year of his career. You could argue he had a great year. And then you throw first round picks on top of that. When Ben Simmons was on display to the entire NBA, and he wouldn't shoot in the fourth quarter. I don't know what the thought process is there from the 76ers. I don't know if they even realistically thought that anyone would even consider taking that. It makes no sense to me. I don't. I mean, I think the first two are already a lot, but then you put 4 first-round picks on top of that. That's crazy.
I don't know who the Sixers think Ben Simmons is because he's not Russell Westbrook. No, he's not Westbrook. He's not James Harden. He's not Drew Holiday. He's not Westbrook going to Houston. He's not Paul George. Because what do these 4 have in common? They all got 3 first-round picks for them in return. And what's the main difference between them and Ben Simmons? They're able to get a shot whenever they need to. Ben Simmons, is just a big defender who's great in transition, whose game is basically based off his athleticism. I don't think I think he knows how to play basketball, but I don't think he understands the game to that type of level where he can pick and choose his spots, where the defenses aren't going to be able to where you're able to read defenses and pick them apart. So I think it's a horrible asking price. I'm glad Golden State said no because what is Ben Simmons? I mean, you could say that Ben Simmons is going to bring the playmaking, especially because he has the shooters in both Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. So would you give him the ball handling duties? Would you make him the point guard? I still think Steph needs the ball in his hands. So I don't know what the Sixers are thinking with that one. But let's go to the second trade when they were rejected by the Toronto Raptors. So the Sixers asked for Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and the 4th round pick for Ben Simmons.
Just asked for the whole starting lineup.
Exactly. Like, what do you guys like? What I don't get what's going on in Daryl Morey's mind. Like, who would take that? And like you guys said, especially after this playoff run.
The only thing I'll say is your first trade offer can't be a low ball. So like, because imagine if the Sixers like asked for like, it was just like, Andrew Wiggins for Ben Simmons, then everyone would be like, okay, so you don't value Ben Simmons at all. So I see like what they're doing, trying to be like, we see this guy as like a real player. He's going to be big, so we're asking for a lot. But obviously, the Raptors aren't going to give away their 3 starting guards for just one guy who's like he hasn't proven that he can lead the team yet. So the Sixers are in a bad situation with that.
Yeah, I just don't get the thought process there. Realistically, when the Sixers propose these, I would guess that's the only real reason to let the league know that they're not going to let anyone fleece them for Ben Simmons. Like if they're going to give him away, they want a good return on it. So maybe those trade offers last night were nothing more than just like a message to let people know where they stand on the Ben Simmons situation. Maybe they didn't even expect them to be accepted, but I mean, they were never going to be accepted in the first place. That's ridiculous. And then you put the 4th overall pick on top of that. Nobody is taking that. So, but one thing I got to think about, though, this has just got to be so deflating for Ben Simmons' ego. I mean, this guy is just a trade piece now. And teams are just saying, like, we don't even want him. You can keep him. I feel bad for the guy almost.
Yeah, this is like I think it's like kind of like it is a bad time for Ben Simmons to be traded just because you had those 4 players that I named, what their asking price was, and that's where the Sixers value him as a because he is a transcendent player. Don't get me wrong. 6'10", can move like a guard. His only problem is he can't shoot, and that's something that you can fix. But now that he's like, I want to say he's in like his 7th season, or he's already passed. He passed his rookie deal. I know that for sure. He's in the league for quite a while, so still not being able to shoot, it's just a shame. I think that's what's holding him back, because if he was able to have a shot, I think teams are flocking to him, like flocking to the Sixers in bunches, asking for Ben Simmons. But just that inability to make a shot that's what's hurting the trade value. I think realistically, what they could get for Ben Simmons if they were to want from Golden State would be Andrew Wiggins and maybe the number 7 pick from last night. Maybe the number 7 and 14 pick. That would be fine. Or maybe number 7 pick and a future first round. That sounds like more realistic. Or with the Raptors, maybe getting Fred VanVleet and the 4th round pick. That seems realistic. But yeah, asking for like half the roster is not really a good idea. Do you guys think Ben Simmons will be on a Sixers jersey before the season starts, or when the season starts?
Well, I mean, I saw a report that said the 76ers were done with Ben Simmons. They said we're done with him. We don't want him. So I don't think so. But I also said the same thing about Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. So I don't know, man. You never know how these things work, but I wouldn't expect it. Any chance I had for Ben Simmons to stay in Philly, in my mind, has just gone out the window. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't see it either. But I feel like the only team that's really going to trade for him is probably a team that doesn't have like championship aspirations. And I know the Raptors were pretty bad last year, but I mean, they won the finals just a couple years ago, so they still think they're up there. And like the Warriors, they're going to be in it next year, so they're not going to throw away all their proven pieces just for a guy to take a flyer on a guy, really. So maybe like a team like the Magic or the Rockets or someone would be willing to throw a couple first-round picks to give him a chance, but none of these contenders.
I don't know. I'm honestly I'm 50-50 on him being staying with the Sixers by the beginning of the season. I think one, because I don't think they're going to be able to find a trade partner, especially for the asking price that they want. So I think that's going to be a problem in itself. And whether they want to get rid of him already, it's going to depend on how much they actually want to take. So,
I found this on the web.
Yeah, it's going to be how much they want to take for how much are they willing to get for Ben Simmons? Because they're not getting 3 first-round picks for him. Sorry.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the new generation of NBA talent that's coming in. So yesterday we had the NBA draft. Out of the top 3 picks, who do you think is going to have the best career? Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, or Evan Mobley?
I mean, it's hard to pick.
Or if you guys want to put like a sleeper pick in there, you guys can do that as well.
It's tough to pick someone's career just from the draft night. But, I mean, the easiest option is obviously Cade Cunningham because he was the best in college. But who I think is going to have – I'm going to switch it just for my answer. Who I think is going to have the fastest impact is going to be Mobley just because he's in a better situation, I think, with Cleveland. And didn't they just traded for Ricky Rubio? So he has a proven point guard. So I think he's going to fit in well there. And he's got Kevin Love and Jared Allen to kind of show him the ropes. So I like that fit. But I think overall, probably Cunningham.
I think Cunningham is the safe pick. And I don't think March Madness was like the best representation of how good he really is. But I'm gonna go a little different here. I'm gonna say Jalen Green, just because people have been hyping him up as like the new coming of it's either James Harden or Kevin Durant. I think it's one of those two. But he's been hyped up as the new coming of him. And watching his game, he's freakishly athletic. He can shoot the ball well. He can do anything he wants. And in a situation like the Houston Rockets, where it's his team really to take over with KPJ and then Christian Wood, I think they're building a pretty nice young core over there. Probably not going to keep all those guys. Probably will trade some of it for some veteran pieces in a little bit. But Houston's always been a good place for basketball. They have a great culture there, and I think Jalen Green's going to come into that and flourish. So, as for who's going to have the best career, that is really tough to say. Cunningham's probably the safe bet, but I'm gonna say Jalen Green. I really like his game, and I think he can be something really special.
So we got one Mobley, one Green. I'm gonna go with Cunningham.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cunningham. Only for the fact that Cunningham's game is a great fit for the NBA right now, especially at the age he is and his he's 6'8", 200 something. He can dribble the ball. He can play make. He has vision with his height. Can rebound. He's not going to beat you with athleticism, but he's going to outsmart you. So I think with that being said, and he's going to, I wouldn't say a winning situation with Detroit, but more of a. I think he's going to a really good situation with Detroit in the fact that he has a former coach of the year in Dwayne Casey. He has Sadiq Bey, who was one of the top rookies from last year. I just think it's going to be, and he has the keys are given to him. He's not going to have to, he's not have to outplay anyone for him. I think everyone knows in the building and the organization and the roster that who this guy is, what they brought him in here for. I mean, he's the number one pick for a reason. He's going to get the keys to the franchise. And I think not that everyone's on the same page about it, and there's no superstars on that team that's going to be like, oh, like, I'm not going to give my spot up to a kid. So I think that's going to be a great situation for him. And just from the way that he's been talking and stuff and things like that after getting drafted, he seems like he really wants to be in Detroit. And when players sound like they really want to go somewhere, they're going to make the best of their situation, wanting to improve, wanting to bring a culture back to Detroit, especially the type of culture that Detroit has with the Bad Boy Pistons and the mid-2000s Pistons with Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace. I think it's gonna be a real good fit. His game is gonna translate to NBA real quick, and that's gonna be my pick. Cade Cunningham. But a sleeper pick, and I've been wanting to talk about this guy for a while. Ever since I saw him in the SEC tournament, Cam Thomas. Just remember the name, all right? Cam Thomas. That's gonna be the guy from LSU. He got drafted to the Brooklyn Nets in the 20s. Dude can ball. He's a bucket getter, and he modeled his game after the Mamba himself. And from what I've seen him play, there are similarities. Even though he'll probably never be somewhere near Kobe at all. His game, you can see his game is modeled after him. So he had no fear, nothing like that. So remember the name, Cam Thomas. And we're gonna go to our last section of the night, or the morning actually. Bradley Beal is opting to stay in DC. Is this BS or are these speaking facts?
I think it's facts. I mean, he's always wanted to stay there. I feel like he's never said he wants to leave, so there's no indication of why he would be saying, or someone would be making it up now. I don't think he should stay. I don't think the Wizards are in a good situation. I think he should go. I mean, I would like to see him on the Warriors. I wouldn't really like to see it, but as a basketball fan, it'd be cool to have 3 knockdown shooters, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's still in DC.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. He's never given us an indication that he's gonna leave, so I wouldn't expect him to leave. I would expect him to stay there. But I think a lot of the times, and we see it all the time with players, is that when players get fed up with the system and they can't win with a team, that's when their frustration starts to build. After a few years of teams not surrounding them with talent and being loyal to them and trusting them. I think the most recent example of that, honestly, is James Harden. He kind of gave a lot to that city, and then they're never able to give him enough, and then he just left. So I mean, I think it's great that Bradley Beal is willing to stick it out in a league where most players aren't that patient. I think most players' patience have diminished, and they're just looking to win now. So I respect him for that, but I don't think the window for him to stay in Washington is going to be too long, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's out of there in the next 2-3 years. And he should, because there's not much going on in Washington. It's not like they have an amazing young core or assets to build around for Beal, or a lot of capital to trade for, really. I mean, there's just not much going on in DC. So I believe Bradley Beal. I think he's genuine, but in the grand scheme of things, I think he needs to get out sooner than later, because Washington is just not a place you're going to win, even in the East. So he's got to do something about that.
I think it's BS. He knows he doesn't. I think he knows.
BS?
I think it's BS.
Okay, why?
I think he knows he's not going to be. He already knows he's not going to be able to win unless they're able to make a big time trade for someone to come help him. He's not winning. He's not winning anything over there. I think, like you said, probably within the next 2, maybe after this season, he's gonna give him one more chance. Just not saying that he has to, but just to showcase his talents one more time to the other teams around him. That, hey, maybe I'm the missing piece for you guys, and maybe that's what the opportunity he's taking right now with this. But I think if you're telling me that there's a trade option to go to, let's say, if it's a trade to go to the Mavs, and they asked to the Mavs, and they asked them, you want to go to the Mavs or do you want to stay in DC?
So you better believe he's coming to the Mavs. He's staying in DC. Are you kidding me?
If you were to tell me, hey, do you want to go to the Knicks or do you want to stay in DC? Do you want to go to Portland? Do you want to stay in DC?
He would be nice in Portland.
Oh man,
it's like this is where I'm saying this is all BS, because I think he's already getting, because I want to say he's 26 years old, or let's see how old Bradley Beal is.
I think he's older.
Bradley Beal age, he's 28.
Yeah, he is.
He's in his prime right now, so players in their prime, they want to compete already, not have first round exits or skip the playoffs. So I think you present him the option to play with the contender, he's gonna take it, just like any other team. I like the loyalty part about it. Don't get me wrong, I love the loyalty part about it. But let's be real, players are in this league to win championships. That's what we base them off of. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but that's just the world that we're in, and what the media does. We base players' career success on championships. So if he wants to go down as one of the greats to play in this game, he needs some titles, because just his resume right now is not even cutting the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. Not even close to the Hall of Fame. So I'm saying BS.
Fair enough.
Fair point. I like it. I like the point you made about the Mavs. Send him to Dallas, man. Let him come for a scoring title in Dallas.
Imagine him in Los Angeles.
Oh my gosh, that would be overkill. I couldn't. If he went to Los Angeles, man, I'd be so.
I think he's gonna go to Chicago.
Which Los Angeles? I was gonna say Chicago. I
think he'd be nice there.
Wait, which Los Angeles? The Clippers?
The Lakers. The Lakers.
Oh no, please no. I can't.
He'd be good on the Clippers too.
Yeah, so the Clippers, he'd be really good with Kawhi and Paul George. We gotta see what Kawhi's gonna do. We gotta see what Kawhi's
He's staying for sure.
Who knows? I mean, you never know with this guy.
That's
So,
true.
but that's gonna be another topic for another day. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys again next week. Stay tuned. Have a great weekend. Later.